DAISY's 10-lesson curriculum for shooting education is the standard set of lesson plans for teaching young people gun safety and marksmanship skills. This video addresses only a portion of that information, but visually demonstrates some instructional techniques. Determining the dominant eye of a shooter is critical to their success. Just like each person is either right-handed or left-handed, each of us has a dominant eye which controls how we focus on an object, such as a target. A shooter who is right-eye dominant will most effectively acquire a target and shoot with the gun mounted on the right shoulder. A left-eye dominant shooter will do best with the butt of the gun on their left shoulder. To determine a shooter's dominant eye, face the person and stand 5 to 6 feet in front of them. With both eyes open, have the shooter fully extend their arms and hands and form a small hole with the web between their thumbs and pointing finger. They should look at your nose through that small opening with both eyes open. Then ask them to bring their hands back to their face. When they have brought their hands back to their face, only the dominant eye will be visible. If at all possible, have the students shoot from the same shoulder as their dominant eye. If this is not possible, they should be encouraged to shoot with the dominant eye covered. Instruct the shooter to take a larger than normal breath. Let half of that breath out and hold the remaining breath. While holding the remaining breath, sight the gun and squeeze the trigger. The trigger should be squeezed with the pad of the first finger in front of the first joint, pulling steadily and straight back toward the eye of the shooter. If the trigger is jerked or squeezed quickly, the shot will hit to the right of the bullseye. Holding a breath while shooting is particularly important in the prone position, as breathing will cause the chest to rise and fall. The remaining breath should not be exhaled, nor should the shooter make any additional movement until the shot is complete and time has been allowed for the BB to hit the target. Building a proper sight picture is critical to shot placement success. In a classroom setting, you'll want to review all of the types of sights available. The DAISY 499, approved for 5-meter BB gun competition, features a rear peep sight and an aperture front sight. The rear peep sight, when you look through it, is a circular opening. The front aperture is a round circle, and the bullseye of the target is a round dot. When sighting a target with the 499, simply allow your brain to align the center and the 3 round items: the rear sight, the front sight, and the bullseye. There should be equal spacing around the 3 elements so that the dot of the bullseye is in the center of the front sight circle, which is also in the center of the rear peep sight opening. Having the sights misaligned will cause the shot placement to be right, left, high, or low. Once you have coached the shooter on sighting in a target, you can make adjustments to the rear sight to get those consistent shots right on the bullseye. 5-meter BB gun shooting consists of 4 shooting positions: prone, standing, sitting, and kneeling. You'll want to carefully read the 10-lesson curriculum and NRA BB gun rules for 5-meter match competition to be sure that shooters are properly dressed and use only approved equipment for practice and competition. While shooters may shoot from bare ground, a shooting mat is often used. Clothing such as shooting vests, gloves, joint braces, support of any kind, casts, or shoes with ankle support are not allowed. DAISY recommends that shooters and anyone near a shooter wear shooting glasses. Because of the low center of gravity, the prone position offers the most stability for the shooter. To get into position, the shooter should lay the gun at their side and lie on their stomach at an angle of no more than 10 to 15 degrees from the line of fire. For right-handed shooters, the right knee should be drawn up, rolling the shooter just slightly onto their left side. This lifts the rib cage and makes it easier to breathe. The left foot should be straight back or turned to the right, but not the left. Hand the gun to the shooter and attach the sling. Position the buttstock on their shoulder so that they can look through the rear sight. Position their left hand on the forend of the gun and slide it forward and backward until the gun is pointed at the level of the target. Mark this proper hand position on the gun, just in the front of the V of the hand. Position the loop of the sling above the bicep muscle. With the shooter's left hand on the forearm, the flat of the sling should pass around the back of the wrist and hand. The V of the hand should be behind the mark you made on the forend. The forend should rest on the ball of the hand, not out on the fingers. The angle supporting the left elbow can be no less than 30 degrees from the mat. The right hand should grip the pistol grip and pull the BB gun back into the shoulder snugly. While the shooter is aiming at the target, tighten the sling until it, not the shooter's left arm muscle, is holding up the rifle. In a relaxed arm position, the sling should do 100% of the work of holding up the rifle in position. When the position is correct, you should be able to draw a straight line from the left hand, down the left arm, side, and leg to the left foot. Have the shooter close their eyes and relax the arm and shoulder muscles. The rifle will naturally point itself. Have them open their eyes and see where the rifle is naturally pointing. To move that sight picture to the bullseye, use the toes to push the body forward or back, or lift the hips, or shift the entire body left or right. Be sure the shooter's head drops comfortably onto the stock of the gun. The head should tip forward towards the target, but not tilt to either side. The eye should be positioned 2 to 4 inches from the rear sight. Because of its high body rifle center of gravity and small base of support, the standing position is the most difficult to master. A right-handed shooter should stand with their body turned 90 degrees from the target, with the left shoulder toward the target. Place the feet shoulder width apart, knees straight but not locked. Hips can be level, or the forward hip may be shifted towards the target. Hand the shooter the BB gun, without the sling attached. Aiming at the target, let the left arm rest on the left side or hip, keeping the wrist straight. The left forearm should be vertical. The butt of the gun should be on the right shoulder. Bring the BB gun down into position and support the forend. Depending on arm and torso length, shooters may adjust the height of position by choosing one of these left-hand positions demonstrated from lowest to highest. Wrist bent, gun resting on flat palm of hand. Wrist straight, gun resting in the fork between thumb and fingers. Wrist straight, gun resting on clenched fist. Wrist straight, gun resting between first and second or second and third fingers and on extended thumb. Wrist straight, hand open with gun resting on tips of thumb and fingers. It is okay for the upper body to bend back slightly to the right to counterbalance the weight of the gun. Weight balance should be distributed evenly between the 2 feet, with 60% of the weight on the balls of the feet. The right hand should grip the pistol grip and pull the BB gun back into the shoulder snugly. Check to see that the shooter's left arm is relaxed onto their side and that no muscles are used to lift or support the rifle. The head should be erect or tipped slightly towards the target. There are 2 sitting positions commonly used. Crossed ankle, also called the extended position, and cross-legged, also called closed position. The closed position should be taught first. To get into position, have the shooter sit. Turn the body 60 degrees from the target. Cross the left ankle over the right ankle and pull the crossed legs in close to the body. Lean forward to rest both elbows in the V's formed by the bent knees. Hand the BB gun to the shooter and attach the sling. Position the butt plate in the middle of the shoulder, high enough to establish a good head position. The sling should be on the shooter's left arm above the bicep muscle. Tighten the sling until it takes over the work of holding up the rifle. Have the shooter move their left hand forward or rearward on the forend until the sights point at the level of the target. The body can be turned to the left or right to position the gun in line with the target. Mark the point on the stock where the V between the thumb and finger is located. Depending on the shooter's lengths of torso, arms, and legs, the extended position may be recommended. If, for example, the BB gun can only be raised to the level of the target by moving their hand back to the gun's trigger guard or by dropping the butt plate lower in the shoulder, then the shooter should try the extended sitting position. Turn the body position so that it is about 30 degrees from the target. The ankles should be crossed just as they were in the closed position, left over right, but the shooter should extend the legs out in front of the body. With the crossed ankles extended, have the shooter lean forward and place both elbows on their upper shins in front of the knees. Hand them the BB gun and attach the sling. Have the shooter move their left hand forward or rearward on the forend until the rifle is raised to the level of the target. And they can rotate their position by moving the crossed feet to the left or right. The sling should be on the shooter's left arm above the bicep muscle. Then have them resume their hand position on the mark on the forend. Tighten the sling until it takes over the work of holding up the rifle. The shooter should be relaxed and let their body weight fall forward onto their legs. The head should be tipped down only slightly. While many shooters will use a kneeling roll for shooting in the kneeling position, it is not required. In this position, the body should face 45 degrees from the target. Have the shooter kneel on their right knee with their left foot flat on the floor and have them sit back on their right foot. The right foot may be placed with the toes pointing back or the foot turned inward with the side of the foot and lower leg in contact with the ground. No portion of the upper leg or buttocks may touch the ground. The left leg should be bent so the lower leg is straight up and down with the left foot parallel to the right thigh. A properly constructed kneeling roll may help a shooter be successful in this position. The roll should be round and may be no more than 8 inches long and 6 inches in diameter. It can be made of canvas or heavy cloth and filled about 80% with wood chips or birdseed. Another option is to fold a bath towel in thirds lengthwise, roll it, and wrap tape around the roll to create a roll with the same dimensions. To teach this position, align the kneeling roll no more than a 45-degree angle from the target. Have the shooter kneel on their right knee with their ankle over the kneeling roll and their left foot flat on the floor, and have them sit back on their right foot. The right ankle should be resting on the roll and the knee pointed no more than 45 degrees from the target. It is important to practice getting comfortable. The toes should not be bent under, the heel should point straight up, and the toes are required by rules to touch the ground. The weight of the body should be balanced over the heel. The left leg should be bent so the lower leg is straight up and down with the left foot parallel to the right thigh. Using either of these two position foundations, have the shooter extend their left arm and drop their elbow to their knee without leaning forward. The elbow may naturally fall onto the flat of the knee or onto the area just behind the knee. Either elbow position is okay. However, the elbow may not be more than 10 centimeters or 3.9 inches from the point of the knee. A shooter with a short torso or long legs may move the left foot forward so that the knee is lower and the point of aim would be level with the target. Hand the BB gun to the shooter and attach the sling. Place the loop of the sling loosely on their upper arm above the bicep muscle. Place the buttstock in the shoulder and move the left hand forward and rearward on the forend until the BB gun sights are raised to the level of the target. Mark the hand position on the forend. Tighten the sling above the bicep muscle so that it takes on the work of supporting the BB gun. Observe the shooter from the right side. You should see several supporting V-shapes, such as you might see on a bridge. Left hand, elbow, shoulder supporting the gun, the sling from the upper arm to the forend, the left knee supporting the left elbow. We hope this video is helpful in your efforts to teach marksmanship skills in 5-meter 4-position match competition. Visit our website for match competition information, including calendar, forms, links, and frequently asked questions. We look forward to assisting you and seeing your team at Daisy's International BB Gun Championship match.